Hi, glad you could join me today. If you'd like to paint along with me, there are links in the description to the paper and paints I'm using, but whatever you have around will work just fine. We're using acrylics on canvas paper today. So, as you can see in front of you, I've just kind of penciled in what I want this to be. So we're going to have something in the foreground that looks kind of like a lake, and then we're going to have a few mountains. We don't care too much about that. The focus is going to be on the sky and the surprise in the front, which is going to be some pine trees. I'm excited about this painting. It's something new that I haven't done before. So the idea of this painting is that we're going to have a bunch of pine trees in the foreground that it's going to look like we're looking through a grove of trees at some mountains and a little lake and a sky. And we're going to try something new and different with the sky. It's fun to experiment. So for this mountain color I have mixed up, I just threw some red and some blue together and was trying to make a bit of purple color, but it ended up being closer to a brown, which I'm fine with for this painting. And there's a little bit of a purple hue to it, and we just added a little bit of white to make that come through. And we're not going to be too worried about these mountains for right now, because we're going to come back and change them later. Don't know quite what I want to do with that. So going to move on to the main event in this painting, the sky. It was fun to play with this color. I hadn't used this shade of blue for the sky before, and this ended up being a transparent color. And the way you can tell that is when you're applying it to the page, can you see what's behind what you just put down? And in this case, yes, you can see through to the canvas underneath quite well. So I'll just finish filling in that sky for today's painting. And then we're going to move on to something akin to like a Northern Lights. Thought I'd try something like that for today's sky, which is going to look really interesting with this transparent blue color behind it. It almost looks like it's already got some clouds and different things and movements going on. Transparent colors can be really good for adding depth to paintings because you can see kind of what's underneath and get a few more shades in, a few more hues. And there we go. I just tried out something that I had not done before. And I ended up kind of not liking this. It was a little too big for me. So that's all right though. You can keep changing your painting as you go. And that's what we're going to do in today's painting. We're going to paint over this. Well, first I decided I wanted to try and cut that in half because I thought that maybe that's what would make it look good to me. But it ended up not being what I wanted, so just go back over it again. And like I said, this is a transparent blue color, so we're going to be able to still see some of this color underneath. It's just going to add some extra depth to our painting. I hope that you feel free to experiment when you're painting, because it's how you learn, and it's a lot of fun. Just trying a couple of different things there. I ended up not liking them, so just going to go back in with some color. Never give up on a painting, because you can always keep changing it and you'll learn something along the way. So just going to finish covering that up, and as you can see, we can still see some of that green color underneath, which I kind of like. And there I just used a different brush to take out the strokes a little bit, which makes it look a little bit smoother. And here I used less paint because I learned something from the first time. And I'm starting by just pushing those bristles right into the page to kind of eliminate some of the paint on the page and have a thinner line ultimately, which is what I wanted. And that's what we're going to end up having for the sky right there, which I like the yellow more than I liked the green. Maybe you like the green better, and that's what you could do with your sky. That's the beauty of it. It's your world. It's your painting. You can do what you like to do. And hopefully have some fun and learn something while you do it. So I just decided to go with more of a red-brown for these mountains, and just am filling in the backside, and then it looks a little bit too different for me, the front and the back of the mountain, so we're just gonna shade in a little bit of that same color on the other side, but leave a little bit of it underneath so that we can still tell where the front and the back of this mountain is. And that's all we're gonna do for those mountains. And now we've moved on to the main event of this painting, which is these trees. I'm using a fan brush, and you just really start by finding where the top of your tree is and then slowly pushing in where those leaves are going to be, where those branches hang. And trees are all different, so you can leave some spots in some, you can make some taller, you can make some wider. We're going with some pretty tall and thin branches on these pine trees, but yours can be thicker, wider, denser, taller, shorter, whatever you like. These are just the trees that I liked for today's painting. And you can have as many trees as you want in your painting. Maybe this is all the trees that you want, or maybe you want 100 trees. I don't know. But whatever you like when you're painting. And it's just going to look like we have a little bit of a lake in front of those trees and mountains and that big old sky. I really like this type of painting. I hadn't really done it before. And I think I might try something like it again. Maybe some different colors and trying something different with the sky. Maybe putting in some land in front of that mountain there before we hit some water. Now with this, we're just about at a finished painting. I'm glad you could join me today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And if you painted along with me, I hope you had some fun. Until next time.